everybody. It is 5:30, so hopefully you're settling in, finding a seat, getting yourself set up for class tonight. Welcome. I'm glad that you're here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Amanda McIntire, and this is UVM's OLLI yoga class. This awesome opportunity is provided through UVM's continuing and distance education, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute. They're providing this class for free online for folks, so do feel free to share this link. We're doing this every week throughout the summer. And if you're not already a member of OLLI, maybe you want to consider making a donation or joining. They have all kinds of awesome offerings throughout the summer and during the academic year. So I'm so grateful to be able to be here and practice with you tonight. This is a beginner yoga class. So maybe this is your first time ever doing yoga, or maybe you've been joining me every week. Wherever you're at in your yoga practice, you've come to the right place, and I'm really glad that you're here. This is a practice that is for you, and so I want you to really use your own knowledge of your body right in this moment to make this practice what you need it to be. So whether that is stretching a little deeper, or maybe backing off a little bit today, wherever it is that you're at is perfect. Just please listen to your body and do what you need to make yourself get the most out of the practice, and I'll try to guide you along. This yoga practice is about taking care of ourselves, and boy, isn't it hard to take care of yourself when you spend so much time sitting? And have you noticed, maybe even though it's summer, that we're sitting even more now during COVID time than maybe before because of all kinds of things. Maybe you're not walking to meetings. Maybe you're spending more time in your car than you used to. Maybe you're in front of a screen more often than you used to. Hopefully, maybe you know that this body, this amazing vessel that we're given, was not designed to sit all day long. Surprising, I know, but it was not meant for that. And last week I talked about how the yoga practice helps us open up our bodies to be able to sit for meditation. Well, way back in the day, that was about the extent of the sitting, was for meditation and maybe for some meals and tea. But otherwise, people were constantly moving. And actually, you know, that was what was happening up until the beginning of the 20th century, right? These bodies were meant to be standing and moving, lifting, reaching, doing things. And as technology has changed, as things have changed, we have become more and more sedentary, right? So as soon as we sit, we cut off like half of the energy in our body. We have this miraculous system that the blood flows, it oxygenates, it brings nutrients everywhere, and as soon as we sit, that amazing flow is stifled a little bit. Additionally, when we sit, we start to have this posture that we talk about so often, where, especially with technology, where the shoulders come forward and the head comes forward. When that happens, the front muscles of the body tighten. So like the pecs, sometimes you get pain in the shoulders, in the neck. That's because all of these muscles are tightening as we start to hunch forward. And while we're doing that, we're actually stretching all of the muscles on the back body. And if we're not taking good care of ourselves, those back muscles start to weaken. So the trapezius, which are the muscles that are right in between the shoulder blades, those start to become weak. And then the shoulders aren't staying on the back anymore. And then suddenly it's easier to hunch forward because you've got short, tight muscles in the front and longer, weaker muscles in the back. So all of this contributes to all kinds of things. It can cause discomfort in the back, in the shoulders, in the neck. Certainly the hips come into play when we're sitting, and we can have discomfort there. But this sitting posture contributes to an increase in your blood pressure, in cholesterol. It causes us to gain weight. It makes us unhappy. It creates compression in the spine. It makes it difficult to breathe. I can go on and on and on for all of these things that are a strong argument for not sitting as much as we do. But I know that you already know that. A couple of tips for off of the mat. Take a break. Get up, walk around. If you're sitting a lot, every 30 minutes they say get up and stand, stretch, walk. When you're on the phone, if you can, maybe rather than sitting, walk around. If you like to binge watch Netflix, I admit that is something that I do enjoy doing. Try standing up. You can practice yoga, you can stand on one foot, you can perfect your mountain pose, but try standing or walking around while you're watching television or a movie. Can change your energy, your health and well-being. So just a couple of off-the-mat tips. But today, as we go through class, what we're going to do is we are going to do everything we can to do the opposite of sitting. We're going to counteract all of these forward shoulder motions, the pinching in the hips, the tightness in the muscles. We're going to build some strength in the back body while stretching the front body and finding some opening in the hips. So we certainly can't do that in this position, so I would like you to come to standing up at the top of your mat. And if you're using blocks tonight, it's advisable to have them up towards the top of the mat at the ready for you. But if you don't have blocks available, don't worry about it. They're not a requirement. So let's begin by finding mountain pose or Tadasana. So check out your feet. Make sure that they're hips distance apart and parallel, located directly beneath the hips. So your hip bones are right here. They align with the knees all the way down to the ankles and out through the second toe. Bring your hands to your hips and stand up nice and tall. Feel your feet grounding down into the floor. And if you don't know what I mean, think about pressing your feet into the mat. It helps to soften the knees and bend them to do that. You'll notice that you're activating your calves and your knees, and we'll get into the thighs and glutes. Engage your abdominal muscles here. So I'm going to give you a little side view. Notice my knees are still bent. You're going to stick your tailbone out and pull the lower abs in. And then neutralizing the spine, point the tailbone more towards the floor so you have a nice flat back, a nice strong core. Ribs are tucked in as you straighten the legs and release your arms down by your sides. A strong, engaged core is beneficial whether we're sitting or standing and helps with strengthening and opening. Find strength in the legs, in the core. Extend up through the crown of your head. Close your eyes and bring your palms together in prayer in front of your heart. Relax the shoulders. Soften the muscles of your face, but stay really strong, steady, and rooted through the feet, the legs, and the torso. Begin to connect with your breath here. And then just do a little scan of the body, starting with the feet firmly planted on the ground. Check out your toes, make sure you're feeling them connected to the mat. Engage through the thighs, lifting the kneecaps. Make sure you're still strong in the core, that your glutes are engaged. Keep the shoulders relaxed down on the back and think about extending the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. That's the very tippy top point of the head. Notice how you're feeling in this standing position. And certainly if you need to open your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze, you can do that. For some of us, you might find that your balance is a little bit challenged standing with your eyes closed. If you find that you're swaying a little bit from side to side or front to back, don't worry about it at all. See if you can find a nice grounded center, but know that that's the body's way of taking care of you by keeping you in balance. Take a couple rounds of full, complete breaths here. Check in with your mountain pose and make sure you're still standing up nice and tall, strong in the legs, engaged in the inner thighs and belly. And we'll begin our practice together by chanting the Sound of Ohm. We're going to chant it just one time, and you can chant it as softly or as loudly as you would like. Take a full exhale and a full inhale for Om. Release your hands and gently let your eyes flutter open. Keep standing up nice and tall in Tadasana. Check out your feet, make sure they're still pointing straight ahead, and bring your hands to your hips. Widen your stance just a little bit. Actually, widen your stance rather significantly. I'm going to bring my feet to the edges of the mat. My heels are turned in and my toes are turned out. Stand up nice and tall and release your arms down by your sides with your palms facing straight ahead. As you inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. As you exhale, bring the palms back down, bending at the knees at the bottom of the breath. Inhale, sweep the arms wide, straighten the legs, and look up. Exhale, sweep the arms down, bend the knees, and do a few more of these in your own breath. Inhaling to lengthen and rise. Exhaling to drop the hands, bend the knees, and take another deep inhale. These are some standing sun breaths. Again, do it in your own time and in your own breath. Maybe you want to go faster or slower than I am. One more round, inhaling as much oxygen as you possibly can, creating lots of space, stretching up. Exhaling and releasing the arms back down. Nice. Bring your feet in to a little bit wider than hips distance apart and bring your hands to your hips. Bring a little soft bend in the knees. So the hips really need a lot of attention in order for us to undo all of this damage that we do with sitting. So hip circles are a great way to do that. Find a little soft bend in the knees, and we're going to start doing really teeny tiny circles with the hips. Like you might not even be able to tell that I'm doing circles with the hips. But then you start to make the circles bigger. So it's like you're creating a spiral going from the inner part of the spiral all the way out. So we're making bigger circles, or maybe they're like ovals or a different shape, but we're trying for circles. Working on making them as big as you can right now, really getting into each hip, moving the pelvis forward. And then we're going to work our way back to center. So start to make the circles a little smaller. Keep a soft bend in the knees, especially if this is feeling a little funky in the legs. It helps to keep the knees soft. Make the circle smaller, all the way back to center, nice and strong in the belly. All right, we're going to switch directions. So little tiny circles, other way. And then they're going to get consecutively bigger and bigger. Can you keep this motion just in the hips so your shoulders are still staying nice and square to the front of the mat, but you're really getting into it in the hips? Eventually, your motions are going to get so big that you can't keep the upper body still. So really get into it, bend the knees deeper if you need to. And then we're going to work our way back to center, so making the circles consecutively smaller. A couple more rounds, making it all the way back in, making the circles as tiny as you can. Nice. And then come to stillness, straightening the legs, but staying nice and strong in mountain pose. Nice soft bend in the knees. Bring your hands to your knees or thighs, and we're going to do some standing cat-cow. I'm going to give you a side view so you can see what I'm doing here. You decide if you want your arms down, your hands down more towards the knees or up towards the thighs. Depends on where your body's at tonight. As you inhale, you're going to bring the chest forward. Look up, bring the shoulders on the back, stretching the front of the body. As you exhale, you're going to round the spine, tuck the chin like in cat pose. Inhale, bring the chest forward and look up. Exhale, pull the belly in, hollow the chest, round the shoulders. And then do a few more of these in your own time and in your own breath, opening up the spine, stretching the front of the body. And then after your next exhale, which is cat pose, come back to a neutral spine, standing at the top of your mat. Nice. Find mountain pose once again. Feet, hips, distance, and parallel. Drawing energy up through the feet, up through the legs, hips, up through the crown of the head. Inhale and float your fingertips up. Stay strong in the belly. Clasp the hands and press the palms up towards the ceiling. If you can look up towards your hands, do that. But if that bothers your neck or makes you feel yucky, take a look straight ahead towards me. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Stretch the fingers here. Lots of space between your ears and shoulders. As you exhale, we'll arch over to the left side. Think about opening up through the right hip, creating all this space that you could never find in your seat. Inhale to come back to center, and then over to the other side. Stay even in the weight in your feet, so keep pressing down, especially in that left foot, as you arch over to the right. Nice. Inhale and come back up to center. Reach your fingertips high once again. Shoulders are relaxed, ribs are tucked in, belly is strong. A little bit of a back bend, so widen the arms. Bring the shoulders back as you look up towards the sky. Come back to center. Bring your palms down to your heart. And then bring your hands to your thighs. And we're going to work our way down to a forward fold, but follow me here. Rather than swan diving, hands are on the thighs, knees are slightly bent. As you exhale, nice flat back. I'm leading with my chest. And hands are going down the legs as far as you can go, keeping a nice flat back, shoulders on the back. Relax your head and connect your hands to something. So maybe it's the floor or a block or your shins. Let the head relax. Use the weight of the head to open up the back of the neck by gently shaking and nodding your head. Yes and no. Come to stillness with the head. Bend your knees a little bit more here. We're going to take the left hand and bring it on the outside of the right ankle or shin. We're going to straighten the left leg, and as you inhale, float the right fingertips up for a twist. Exhale to release, and we'll switch sides. The right hand comes to the outside of the left leg. You're bending a little bit into the right knee. As you inhale, float the left fingertips up for a twist on the other side. Lots of opening through the shoulders, opening through the chest and neck. Exhale and release back down. Grab opposite elbows. Let yourself fold even deeper here. We're working on straightening the backs of the legs. If your knees are still bent deeply, that's totally fine. Just do your best with it. We're all in different places and opening up different parts of the body. Release the elbows. Bend your knees and get your hips underneath you. Press into your feet. Inhale to straighten the legs. Reach the arms up overhead all the way up. Connect the palms and bring your hands to heart center. Nice job. Come to a wide stance, and my feet are off of the edges of the mat, and my toes are pointed at a 45-degree angle. Hands come to the hips. Again, find that nice strong core engagement, nice strong glutes. And then we'll bend into the knees, making sure they're aligned with the toes. So try to avoid having them point inward, but rather open towards your toes. And then bring your arms up to 90 degrees for goddess pose. So in this posture, it's great because we are opening the hips up. We're strengthening through the hips as well because we're in this squat, so that's kind of cool. But we're also opening through the chest and strengthening through the back of the shoulders. So you may have heard, like, it's a good idea to stand with your back against the wall like this for 15 seconds every day or something like that. This is the same idea. So the shoulders are on the back, you're strong in the core. Envision that your back is up against a wall right now. Or if you're in a small space, maybe it is. But nice and strong in goddess pose here. Steady breath. And remember, your choice. So if you're like, wow, I'm already really tired. If you need to take a break, take a break. And if you're like, yes, I've been waiting to do a squat all day long, feel free to sink a little bit deeper into this pose. And if you go deeper and you're like, oh wait, no, I'm just kidding about that, that's fine. This is totally your practice, so I want you to do what's going to feel best for you. Couple more breaths here. Nice job. All right. Press into the feet, straighten the legs, and straighten the arms into five-pointed star. Extend the crown of your head up towards the ceiling. Shoulders are down. Lots of strength through the arms and legs. Nice. Bring your arms up to a V so that your body's more in like an X shape. So this is like the opposite of sitting, I think. I don't feel like there's anything in this that's really resembling sitting too much. That's kind of nice. So create lots of space, especially in the spaces where we compress when we sit, in the hips, in the neck, in the shoulders. Lots of room. On an exhale, bend into the knees, bend the elbows, bringing the arms in front of you, nice and strong. Excellent. Inhale, straighten the arms and legs, lots of space. As you exhale, come on into a squat, bring the elbows in. Shoulders are down on the back. Inhale and create space. One more time, exhale, nice and strong. Pardon me. And inhale, lots of room. Bring your hands to your hips. Pivot your feet so that they're parallel to the edges of the mat. And then nice and strong in the core and in the legs. As you exhale, hinge forward to a flat back. You're pulling in at the belly. You're looking down at the floor. Nice long neck, long spine. Bring your right hand to the floor or a block. And as you inhale, sweep the left fingertips up for a twist. We're trying to stack the shoulders here and really stretch through the chest, through the neck. As you exhale, lower the left hand down and we'll switch sides. Left hand to the floor or the block. Inhale to sweep the right fingertips up. And you can be looking down at the floor towards the side wall or up towards your lifted hand. You decide what feels good for you tonight. Think about keeping your weight in your feet and core so that there's not too much weight on that left hand. Exhale to lower your right hand back down and let yourself fold all the way forward in this wide-legged forward bend. Bring your hands to your hips, press into your feet, and come on up. Nice job. Come on up to the top of your mat and find mountain pose once again. So, feet are hips distance, legs are engaged, core is strong. You're standing up nice and tall, counteracting all of the sitting that you have done recently, whenever that was. Inhale and float the arms up overhead. Stay strong in the belly as you exhale. Hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. From here, walk yourself back to a downward facing dog. If you want to go to plank first and then into down dog so you know your hands and feet are in the right place, you can do that. Your hands are shoulder width apart or wider. Your feet are hips distance apart and you're pressing into the hands as the hips move up and back. Pedal the feet out here, so alternate bending each knee and bringing each foot closer to the floor. Let that movement move all the way up into the hips so you're getting some motion through the pelvis. And then come to stillness with the legs. Stay nice and strong in the hands, engage in the inner thighs, and on an inhale, sweep your right leg up for three-legged dog. Keep your right foot flexed and do your best to keep the hips level here. We're opening up through the right hip. And this might be plenty for you, and if it is, do your best to stay strong here. If you want a little more challenge, you can join me in bending the lifted knee. My foot is still flexed, and then you're going to draw circles with the knee. And if you do that, that should get some action going into the right hip. So sometimes we do this on our knees and we call this fire hydrant pose. This is a down dog version. Switch directions with your circles if you haven't already. Really trying to get into the right hip. Remember, you can take a break whenever you need to. If you're doing circles with the hip, come to stillness, extending the leg straight out. And then lower your foot down to the floor. Drop your knees to the floor. Let the big toes come together and let the knees be wide as you move your hips back and come into child's pose. Reach your fingertips up towards the top of your mat as you move the hips as far away from your fingertips as you can. If you're able to connect your forehead to the floor, do that. On your next inhale, come on up to all fours and then make your way back to downward facing dog. You're welcome to go through plank first if you'd like. Get a nice solid down dog. Once again, engage in the inner thighs and float the left leg up for three-legged dog on this side. You can either stay here or join me in bending the knee, keeping the foot flexed, and then drawing some circles with the left hip. And then reverse directions with the circles, using the knee to get into the hip joint. Come to stillness. If you're doing circles with the legs, straighten the leg out. And exhale to lower the foot back down. Once again, drop the knees. Let the toes come together. Knees are wide for child's pose. Make any adjustments in this child's pose that you need to make it more accessible for yourself. So, for example, if reaching your fingertips up towards the top of the mat really doesn't feel good in the shoulders, walk your hands back towards your body a little bit more. If this is difficult in the knees or in the low back, it might feel good to have your hips up a little bit higher rather than aiming for the heels. As long as you're listening to your body and doing your best to counteract all of the sitting, you're doing it right. So good job. On an inhale, make your way back up to tabletop on all fours. Tuck your toes and make your way back to downward facing dog. And then walk your feet up towards the top of the mat, coming to a forward fold. If you need to have the knees bent, of course, do that. Bend your knees, inhale, sweep your arms as you come all the way up. Palms connect up overhead. Bring your hands to your heart. All right, nice job. Find yourself in mountain pose up at the top of your mat once again. Inhale and float the arms up. Keep the shoulders relaxed, keep the belly tucked in. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Maybe you can sink a little bit deeper this time. Step your right foot back to a lunge. Front knee lines up over the front ankle. Keep your hands connected to the floor, or if you have blocks, this is a great place to use blocks. Make sure that your feet are hips distance apart. Your back heel is lifted so the back leg is straight. And notice that I have space between my ears and my shoulders. If I didn't have the blocks here, I would have my fingertips connected to the floor. Notice if my fingertips are barely connected to the floor, there's not a lot of weight in the hands. So I invite you to really stay strong in the legs and in the core, placing your hands somewhere more for balance than anything else. Gently drop your right knee and point your right toe so that the back knee is connected to the floor. Bring the chest forward and take a look up. Use your breath. Notice where you're feeling this. Exhale to look back down. Tuck the back toes and lift the back knee. Nice long spine here. And then right hand comes to the floor or a block and float the left fingertips up for a twist. Exhale to lower the left hand back down. Kick off the back foot and come forward to a forward fold. And we're going to switch sides. So this time step your left foot back to a lunge. And get yourself situated. So feet are hips distance apart. Front knee is over the front ankle. Hands are connected to the blocks or the floor. Your back leg is straight and your back heel is lifted. Nice long spine here. Steady breath. Keep the strength and the weight in your legs and in your core with just very little weight in the hands. Lower the back knee, point the back toe, and take a look up towards the ceiling. Exhale to come back to center. Tuck the back toes and lift the back knee, so you're in a high lunge once again. Left hand comes to the floor or a block. Inhale to sweep the right fingertips up for a twist. Think about your head extending out from your neck and your shoulders. So it's like an extension of the rest of your spine. Exhale to lower the right hand back down. Kick off the back foot and come forward to a forward fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach your arms wide. Come on up. Exhale and hands come to heart center. Nice job. Shake it out. Get some water if you need to. And when you're ready, bring yourself to the middle of your mat. And once again, find mountain pose. So feet are hips distance apart. You're strong, active, tall. Bring your awareness to your left foot and feel it pressing into the floor. Start to shift your weight, and we're going to start to free the right foot. And if you're able to, see if you can create some space between your right foot and the floor. If you're able to get the knee up to a place where you can reach it, do that. If you're not in that place tonight, not a problem. Just focus on staying as grounded as you can in the left foot. Notice that my right foot is flexed here. So if you're holding on to the knee, we're going to try to turn the leg and cross the ankle over the thigh. If your leg is not up as high, try crossing it over below the knee, so over the shin. If your foot is over the thigh, sit the hips back, coming into a balanced figure four. Planting your right hand on the inner thigh, and then press on the inner thigh to open it up. If you're crossing the ankle over the shin, you're going to stand up a little bit taller. Again, still using the right hand to open up the right hip. Nice. So you're either standing, opening up the right hip, or you're in this balanced figure four, doing the same thing. Make sure you're looking at something that's not moving. And then wherever you're at, press into the standing leg, release your right foot down and shake it out a little bit. So in this posture, what we're trying to do is give a little aid to the hips. So for example, if you're here, you already have some nice opening going on, but if we place the hand on the inner thigh and press it just a little bit more, you get some more space. So let's see what the other side is like. Find yourself in the middle of your mat. Find mountain pose, nice and tall, and feel your right foot grounded, present, ready to support you. Start to shift your weight into the right foot as you free your left foot. Stay strong in the legs and in the core. Flex your left foot and see if you can create space between your foot and the floor. You can, my balance is off today. You can lift your knee up to hip height. Feel free to wrap your hands around your shin. And remember, your balance can change from day to day, from morning to evening, and from moment to moment. So give yourself a break. All right, wherever you're at, keeping the foot flexed, you're going to point the knee out towards the left, either crossing the ankle over the thigh and sitting back, or crossing over the shin. Wherever you're at, you've got your left hand on the inner thigh, opening the leg out to the side. So that's one example. This is the other example. Nice. Make sure you're breathing. All right, press into the standing leg. Come on up, shake it out. All right, nice work. Come on up to the top of your mat. Find mountain pose again. Extend the crown of the head towards the ceiling as your shoulders descend. Stay strong in the core. Inhale and float your fingertips up. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Exhale, swan dive all the way forward. If you need to bend the knees, do that. Make your way back to plank. top of a push-up. If you need to drop your knees first to do that, that's fine. In this plank, you've got the shoulders over the wrists. Core is nice and strong, so you're pulling in the low belly. Ribs are tucked. Tailbone is tucked. Move your hips up and back to downward facing dog, so hands and feet stay where they are. You're just pushing into the hands as the hips move back. On an exhale, glide forward to plank, top of a push-up. From here, we're going to work our way down to a forearm plank. So you can drop your knees first if you'd like, or you can try bending each elbow, placing the forearm on the floor, scooting the toes back a little bit. In this posture, we've got the shoulders lined up over the elbows, palms are face down. This is a nice alternative if you have wrist issues, an alternative to regular plank. Here we're really working our abdominal muscles. We're also strengthening the shoulders, the back muscles. Lower the knees and make your way back to child's pose. You can have your knees wide or together, your choice. Find a nice stretch through the back body. Inhale and make your way back forward to a tabletop. Walk the knees back a little bit. Tuck your toes and make your way back to downward facing dog. Take your time as you walk your feet up towards your hands, coming to a forward fold at the top of your mat. Bend your knees, inhale, reach your arms wide as you come all the way up. Exhale and connect your palms, bringing them to heart center. Nice. All right, shake it out a little bit. Are you warmed up yet? Good, we're getting there. Okay, find yourself in mountain pose once again. I always say, are you warmed up yet, when I'm definitely warmed up. So stand up nice and tall. Find yourself in mountain pose once again. And then from here, we're gonna clasp our hands behind the back. So something like this, whatever feels comfortable for your wrists and shoulders. And if you're not able to clasp your hands behind the back, you can use something like a strap, or just don't quite connect the hands today. So this is kind of like the opposite of sitting, I would say. Standing up, chest forward, shoulders on the back. A little bit of a back bend. So press the knuckles towards the floor. Stay strong in the core as you look up towards the sky. Make sure you can breathe. As you exhale, we're going to hinge forward at the hips, moving the hands forward, away from the body. And then release your hands down towards the floor. Bend your knees, inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Nice. So release that. So we've worked on strengthening the back. We've done a whole bunch of stretching and moving through the hips and the neck and the shoulders. We've been exploring sun salutations over the last couple of weeks, and boy, isn't that a quick, great way to get out of the seat and do something that is opposite of sitting. So let's try a sun salutation together tonight. Find yourself in mountain pose at the top of your mat, feet hips distance and parallel. Inhale and float the arms up. Belly stays strong, shoulders are relaxed. Exhale, swan dive all the way forward to a forward fold, or Uttanasana. Step your right foot back to a lunge. We're going to ground down the back foot so that it's parallel to the back of the mat, and you're going to scoot your front foot over just a little bit so it's aligned with the back arch. This is the footing for Warrior 2. So stay strong in the legs, press into the feet. We're going to windmill the arms up to Warrior 2. Whoa, thought I said I was doing a sun salutation. We threw a little Warrior 2 in here. So your back foot should be parallel to the back of your mat. Your front foot should be aligned with the back arch. If they're not, feel free to scoot them around. Front knee is aligned over the front ankle. Both arms are straight and you're looking over your front hand, which is your left hand. Nice. Bring your right hand to your low back. Flip the left palm, straighten the front leg, reach the left fingertips up overhead. This is like an Exalted Warrior but with a straight front leg. Lots of space through the left side of the body. Inhale, come back to Warrior Two. All right, I think we have to finish this side of the sun salutation. So we're going to bring our hands on either side of the front foot. Lift the back heel. This can be a nice place for blocks too, your choice. But from here, we're going to make our way back to plank, top of a push-up. So you can swing the leg back. You can drop the knees first. Your choice. We're going to end up in plank or Utthita Chaturanga with the shoulders over the wrists. Nice strong belly. And then lower the knees, point the toes, and using your upper body strength, lower your torso down to the mat. Hands are under the shoulders, toes are pointed, legs are squeezing together. On an inhale, gently peel your chest up off of the mat for Baby Cobra, opening through the front body, strengthening the back. Exhale and lower back down. Tuck your toes, work your way back to downward dog. You can push up through plank or you can go through tabletop. It's up to you, but we'll end up together in downward facing dog. Take a look at your hands and starting with your right foot, walk your way forward to the top of your mat, coming to a forward fold. Bend your knees, inhale, reach your arms wide, come all the way up, lots of space. Connect the palms, exhale, and bring your hands to your heart. Nice. All right, that was one half of the sun salutation. We must be getting close here. Find yourself in mountain pose once again. Nice and tall. Inhale and float the arms up. Take a look up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way down. This time we're going to step the left foot back to a lunge. And before you get ahead of yourself, find a nice, solid, legit lunge here. Nice straight back leg, nice bend in the front knee. And then from here, we'll ground down the back foot so that it's parallel to the back of the mat. Scoot your right foot over to the left a little bit more so it's aligned with the back arch. You get super strong in the legs, press into your feet and windmill your arms up to Warrior Two on this side. And I love that transition, but it can be a little bit wobbly. So check out your feet. Make sure you have this heel to arch alignment. You have a deep bend in the front knee and the back leg is straight. Arms are straight and you're looking over your front hand, which is the right hand. Hips and shoulders are facing the long edge of your mat. Bring your left arm behind you to the low back. Flip the right palm. As you inhale, straighten the front leg. Reach the right arm up overhead for a straight-legged Exalted Warrior. Shoulders are relaxed. You're really strong and engaged in the legs and in the core. Inhale to come back to Warrior Two. So bend into the front knee, extend the arms. All right, here we go. Both hands are going to windmill on either side of the front foot. Back heel lifts, and you're going to work your way back to plank, top of a push-up. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be pretty or smooth. It's just your best effort tonight. Nice and strong with the shoulders over the wrists. And if you're feeling super strong tonight, you're welcome to lower down like a reverse push-up, or you can join me in dropping the knees, pointing the toes, and lowering the chest all the way down. Clasp your hands behind you, bringing the shoulders on the back. Get nice and strong in the belly. Keep the tops of the feet connected to the floor. On an exhale, peel your chest up off of the mat. See if you can move your hands more towards your heels. And make sure you can breathe. So if you're struggling for breath here, try lowering back down a little bit. Exhale to release. Release your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes, and you can either go through plank or through tabletop to go back to downward facing dog. Yogi's choice. Pedal the feet out a little bit here once you're in your down dog. And then beginning with the left foot, walk your way forward to the top of your mat, coming to a forward fold. Bend your knees, inhale, reach the arms wide as you come all the way up. Exhale, and hands come to heart center. Release that and shake it out a little bit. Really nice job. As I was putting this class together, there are some schools of thought that think that Utkatasana, which is chair pose, is advantageous for sitting. Because I'm not a fan and because we sit too much, we're not doing any Utkatasana tonight. Just wanted you to know that. So find yourself up, I'm relieved, so find yourself up at the top of your mat, standing up nice and tall. I don't want us to undo any of this anti-sitting that we have been doing during our time together tonight. Inhale and float the fingertips up. Nice, long body, reaching your fingertips as high as they go, feeling your feet rooting down into the mat. Connect the palms, exhale to bring them to your heart, and then bring your hands to your thighs, taking your time as you exhale, moving the hands down the legs to a forward fold or Uttanasana. And from here, make your way back to tabletop on all fours. And if you need to cushion your knees here, this is a nice place to put a blanket or to fold the mat. But we're going to find the hips over the knees, the shoulders over the wrists. Feel the heels of your hands pressing into the floor so that you've got some action going on the shoulder blades, keeping them nice and strong on the back. As you inhale, float your right fingertips up for a twist. And then as you exhale, we're going to sweep the right arm down to the floor, coming into thread the needle. I'm relaxing the right side of my head and the right arm down on the floor. And if you feel really compressed here, some folks enjoy using a block, either to rest the head or to create some more space. You're welcome to play around with that. The hips are up. And again, the right hand and shoulder is relaxed. Left hand is pressing into the floor. Reach your left fingertips up towards the top of your mat so that the left arm is straight, reaching the fingertips towards the top. Walk your left hand so that it's back underneath your shoulder more. Press into the left hand. This is meant to be a twist, and we're trying to stretch through the shoulder blades and through the chest at the same time here. All right, press into the left hand as you inhale. Sweep the right fingertips up towards the ceiling for a counter stretch, and then release the right hand down to the mat. And just give yourself a moment to kind of let your energy settle in after the twist. Strong and steady, inhale and float your left fingertips up. Take a look up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, sweep the left arm underneath the right, relaxing the left arm, left side of the head down to the mat. Walk your right fingertips up towards the top of the mat. And remember that you can always use a block if you need to create a little bit more space for yourself. Walk your right hand back underneath the shoulder, and then just press into the right hand to twist a little bit deeper here. Take some big breaths, creating some space in the thoracic spine. And then gently press into the right hand. As you inhale, we'll sweep the left fingertips up for a counter twist. And exhale to release. Nice job. All right, we're going to scoot around and extend the legs straight out in front. Both legs are as straight as they can be and feet are flexed. Hands are on either side of the hips as you sit up nice and tall here. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Inhale to float the arms up. Keep your shoulders down on the back. Lead with the chest as you exhale. We're going to hinge forward, releasing your hands wherever is comfortable. And now notice here, and I'm holding onto my shins and I'm actively holding onto them for an extra connection. But notice how long my neck is. Notice that I'm not reaching past my toes with my shoulders up by my ears like I could be, because I'm trying to counteract all of that. So feel free to join me in having a nice long neck, Lots of strength through the back body. As you exhale, maybe you can even sink a little bit deeper, but still maintaining a nice flat back and leading with the chest. All right, extend the fingertips out. Inhale to reach the arms up, and exhale to lower them back down. Bring the soles of the feet together, and you decide how close you want your feet to your body, or if you want them further apart, totally fine. But we're going to grab a hold of the ankles and once again, sit up nice and tall. Use this connection with the legs to provide you with some extra strength and stability. And then we're going to just do a little bit of a back bend. So bring the shoulders on the back, lift the chest, lift the chin as you look up. We're stretching through the front of the neck, the front of the chest here. Exhale to come back to center. And then free your hands. And this is the one time we're going to round forward today. So let your hands move forward. Let the shoulders come forward. Stretching through from the hips all the way up to the shoulders. Breathing into the inner thighs if you're feeling it there. Walk the hands in as the torso rises up. And then use your hands to gently guide the knees together. Extend your left leg out with the foot flexed. Right knee is bent, and bring the hands around the right shin so that you can sit up nice and tall in your seat. Keep your right foot rooted and really feel it pressing into the floor. Bring your right fingertips behind you, and the fingers are relatively close to the body. This is like a little kickstand to help prop you up. And then the left arm goes on the outside of the bent knee for a twist. And you decide, maybe your foot needs to be further away from your leg for this to be comfortable. Or maybe it feels better to have the foot closer. You can play around with that. But we're inhaling to lengthen the spine and exhaling to twist. Gently unwind back to center. This is one you can always do sitting in your seat, actually. Spinal twists are great. Bend the left knee, and once again, hands come around the shin. Here's a pro tip for sitting in your seat. One way to have a nice posture in your chair is to have your feet connected to the floor. And then when you're sitting up, like I'm doing right now, press your feet into the floor. It forces you to sit up a little bit taller. Press into the floor. All right, we're going to bring the left fingertips behind us. Little kickstand. Right arm goes to the outside of the bent knee, and we're twisting to the left. With every inhale, you're sitting up a little bit taller. As you're exhaling, you're twisting a little deeper. Again, this back hand is for a little bit of balance, but you're staying strong in the core and the legs. As you exhale, gently unwind back to center. Extend the left leg out, and from here, make your way onto your back. And we're going to lay all the way down. And begin by extending your legs straight out on the mat. And make sure that your shoulders are nestled down on the back so you have a nice long spine. Bring your right knee in and hug it in as you press through the sole of your left foot. And then straighten the right leg, bringing your hands behind the thigh. Press your thigh into your hands as we straighten the leg a little bit. Bend the right knee and then straighten it. See if it goes a little bit straighter. See if you can pull the leg a little closer to the body, but use your own body wisdom. So this is not a challenge. I'm not challenging you to get the leg closer. If it feels good, try doing that. Bend the lifted knee one more time. Straighten it a little bit more. And once again, hug the right knee in towards your chest. Extend your left arm out to a T and gently just open the right leg with the knee still bent out to the right. And my right hand is actually holding on just below the knee on the upper shin. Gently come back to center, and then we'll switch sides. So extend the right leg out, bring the left knee in, hug it on into the chest as you press through the sole of the right leg, making it nice and long. And then straighten the left leg, hands come behind the thighs, left foot is flexed. Press that left thigh into your hands as we Straighten the leg. Bend the lifted knee, and then straighten it once again. Maybe it gets a little straighter this time. Maybe it's a little closer to the body. One more time. Bend the lifted knee and straighten it, going as far as is comfortable for your edge. And then bend the left knee in towards the chest. Extend your right arm out to a T. Hold on to the left knee with your left hand and open it, still bent, out to the side. And I've got my hand just below the knee, holding on to the shin. Gently come back to center. Hug both knees in towards your chest. And then using your peace fingers, grab a hold of your big toes. We're going to go into happy baby pose. So the knees are bent deeply. Your feet are either close together or any distance you'd like. And you're going to gently rock from side to side, massaging the spine and the hips. Come to stillness and hug the knees in towards your chest. And then from here, make your way into Shavasana. And you can take whatever version of Shavasana feels good for your body tonight. Maybe that's with the feet together and the knees wide. Maybe it's with the feet wide and the knees together. For a traditional Shavasana, you can extend your legs straight out on the mat with your feet mat width apart, and you just relax your feet open to the sides. Make sure that your shoulders are nestled down on your back, that your arms are by your sides with your palms face up, and let the backs of your hands be on the floor next to you off of the mat. So you're really taking up some space here. Feel this posture wherever you're at as the opposite of sitting right now. Close your eyes, connect with your breath, and feel the effects of your practice. There is no more effort. Begin to deepen your breath. Let a little bit of movement come back into your toes and your fingers. On your next inhale, extend your arms up overhead, extend your legs out nice and long for one final long stretch. Hug your knees in towards your chest and gently roll onto your right side. Using as little effort as possible, keeping your eyes closed, make your way up to a seat, sitting up nice and tall, and bring your palms together in prayer front of your heart when you find your seat. And just notice what your seat feels like right now. I hope that you can take some of these ideas of strengthening the shoulders, opening the hips, finding length in the neck to counteract all of the damage that we do as we have these sedentary lives and sit more and more. We'll close our practice tonight by chanting the Sound of Ohm, sitting up nice and tall, and we'll chant it just one time. Take a full exhale and a full inhale for Ohm. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each of you with great respect. Namaste. Thanks so much for coming to class. I hope you're feeling a little bit taller, a little bit more open, and ready to undo some of that sitting more off of the mat and in your world. Thanks for coming to class tonight, and we'll see you next week. Take care.